Hey vinyl community, Steve here at FlipSideCT. Appreciate you joining me, stepping in here, checking things out. Music lovers, vinyl lovers, and going to try to get you to walk away with some information you didn't know. That's sort of my goal here. Turn you on to something that you don't know, and hopefully it clicks with you. Got a couple albums, and I'm not going to get into anything else. I just sort of going to jump into here and talk about these records. So, first one I got is Phil Manzanera, Diamond Head. I'm not sure what this picture's about. I know a few folks have shown this recently, and I had it for a couple of months already. And Phil, you know, from Roxy Music, those of you who don't know, big influence, his guitar work. And I didn't realize that he actually lived in Hawaii. He lived in Colombia. His mom is from Colombia, and he lived in Venezuela and Cuba. So some Latin influence there. So he, in Cuba, about 6 years old is when he started and picked up a guitar, and then moved on about 8 years old to Venezuela. And then as a teenager started playing more guitar, brought in some rock and roll, and had these layers of styles, which I recommend to any guitarist. You know, just playing rock and roll guitar is great, but you know, try to learn a little different flair. Anyway, different topic. So he has Eno playing here. He has Robert Wyatt, Soft Machine, and McKay. There's 4 instrumentals on here. So I lost my train of thought. After, I guess, Venezuela, he wound up going to England, of course, and you know, like I mentioned, his mom was Colombian, and they lived there. In 1972, he jumps right into Roxy Music, so he had the talent. And this album is not like a fantastic, brilliant album, but it's well done when you put it on. It's got different styles. You'll hear the Latin style in here. You definitely hear Roxy Music. So if you like Roxy and you don't know about this, check this out. I'm sure you do anyway. How can you not? This next one is a Run Out Groove. I think, Stav, you had shown this. One or two people have shown this. You know, I'm just catching up. And I had mentioned that I want to do and get some specialty albums like this type of thing, where Run Out Groove is basically fans of the website vote on an album, one or two albums, which one they should release. This happens to be the Stooges Funhouse highlights from the Funhouse sessions. So this is all put together of outtakes from the sessions here in 1970. And it's got some really just, you know, songs as you would expect, and banter going on in between, and it's just fun things that I like to hear now. Something a little different, you know, spices up an older album that you've heard plenty of times. I was in my kitchen or driving my car with my wife, I forgot what it is, but I was singing basically, she's got a TV on me. She's got a TV on me. She goes, what the heck are you singing? And I started singing again. And I said, what do you think I'm singing? She is not an Iggy Stooges fan. I don't think she would. I don't even really play much for her, Iggy. She probably would like the 80s Iggy more, but not the Stooges. But she got a kick out of it. I just have that song constantly in my head now. But the last side, D, Freak, which is LA Blues, I didn't care for that. It's like 17 minutes, the same sound over and over. That's the only bad thing about this. But otherwise, this is real raw. It's Iggy, and you just can't say anything else wrong there. So the next one, I showed this guy in his previous band, but this is his solo, and this is Izzy Stradlin. This is 117 Degrees from 1998, I believe. And there is a picture from the inner sleeve, and it basically tells who's on here. So Rick Richards is on here. I talked about him. He's from Georgia Satellites, and these two just connect and just twine in so brilliantly with that sound and the crunchy and just pure rock and roll guitar. I wanted to say there's a couple of instrumentals in here. Yeah, 2 instrumental tracks, and they also play Memphis from Chuck Berry, which is just killers. It's just wonderful. Duff McKagan plays on here. Taz Bentley, he's with Reverend Horton Heat, the Psychobilly drummer. But also drumming is Charlie Quintana, the drums. Luckily we got to hear him on here. So talk about a rock solid album. You know, this is just tight. Just you put it on and you just love it throughout. A little softer, a little louder. It has a little bit of Ramones sound. It has surf, Dick Dale. It has whammy bars, rockabilly, and just pure, cool, raunchy rock. So I can't again say enough about this. And Izzy, some sweet slide guitars from Rick. I'm really impressed with the chemistry on these guys, and Izzy pulled it out. I wish they would come out with something new again. Okay, so this next one is a little more detail I want to get into. It's not a review, but I just sort of want to give you a background. I'm not going to show you the album yet, but I want to discuss something and give this a chance, please. A lot of people don't look at Lou Reed in the best way. You know, some people just like Velvet Underground, but growing up from 1975 in my town in New Jersey, 20 miles outside Manhattan, we were big Lou fans when we started listening to music. Of course, with Bowie and Stones and Zeppelin and Who and etc. Mott the Hoople, and we just loved Lou. And I had a few friends who just mimicked him and would say his lyrics, and you know, they would turn me on. And it was really have a soft heart and a love for his music since. And so what my point here is, I know people just don't like his sound, his voice, his tone, but you got to think about also, there are so many other guys who sing and don't have perfect pitch. I'm just gonna what's his name, Jonathan Richman, David Byrne, Schneider from B-52s. You got people who sing just off, and it's still listenable. But yeah, Lou's a little monotone and not much there, but his lyrics and his poetic justice here is just fantastic. And then musically, the bands he puts behind him are really great to listen to also on the albums. But anyway, in RCA in 1972 basically didn't want to support him with a second album after hearing the first one. They thought it was just poor quality. It had Rick Wakeman on it, it had Steve Howe on it, it had Caleb Quaye from Elton John as rhythm guitarist. I mean, some top musicians, but they just felt it wasn't good. You know, I'm sure Lou was, you know, that's why he gets so bitter. You know, these people are telling him, hey, it's not good. And meanwhile, you look back at it and you say, this is classic. What are you suits saying, you know? Really? But anyway, he... during this time frame, he was married, well, not married, he eventually got married to her, but he met Betty Kornstadt. I don't know exactly how he met her. There's so many things that I've read, so I'm not going to say one of them. Just pretty obvious ways of meeting. And she had some elegance of beauty to her. Dressed really nice, from Long Island, but she wasn't hip into Lou's scene. She was quiet, she wasn't a great conversationalist, And I think Lou really need that. Eventually, I think with Laurie Anderson, we see that as he towards later in his life. But she was there. He was in love. He was flying high. He spread his peacock feathers to get her and click with her, and she stayed with him. But still, it was sort of offbeat. But during this time frame, she was there with him. So, hey, second album, Lou has Bowie and Ronson. RCA can't turn that down. So, Transformer is scheduled to go. He goes out to England, Trident Studios. You know, that's just all history. I don't want to get into Transformer details. But meanwhile, Lou did need a band. He wanted to put together a band so he could start pushing his album. And you got to think too, you know, here he is in one of the best bands that there ever was, Velvet Underground. How is he going to top this? But Lou had a plan. He had a model he wanted to focus on. So through connections, he heard about a band of some 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, some guys from Yonkers, and they were pretty good. And he wanted to go see them. Now, they weren't Velvet fans, they weren't Lou fans, but hell, he went up there. Their mom opened up the door, invited Lou in. Lou went downstairs into the basement and saw the boys. And now this band called the Tots, T-O-T-S. They, I believe it was 4 of them, and they were tight. They played like Allman Brothers style guitars, working off each other, weaving a lot. And he goes down and they play him some originals, and he loved their harmony. And he strapped on the guitar and played some songs with them, and they picked up, and he really liked it. Now, back to the plan that Lou had. Lou, as we know, loved to focus attention, didn't want to be harassed, didn't want to hassle, didn't want people telling him what they think he should do. So these are young kids. Whatever you want, Lou will do. And they weren't really physically there, attractive to be looked at on stage. They were there to help back him up and perform and not have the focus. And that's what Lou wanted, and he got. It was perfect. He had full control and no arguing. And 1 month later, they were headed out to England, Scotland, and Europe for a tour. So Transformer actually came out around November of '72. So I believe the touring, I think, was done before, and I don't know the exact timing, but it had to be around that time frame, a little bit before. Now, the Tots had a lot of energy, as you can imagine, 19-year-old, 20-year-olds. They felt sometimes they were sloppy, but in their terms, but they were tight and they were really focused and didn't give any hard time. And they provided a real solid background for Lou, which is what he wanted. And he was focusing a lot on being a front man. So he started picking up some dancing. I don't know. He was trying to find himself a little bit. You know, he wasn't Mick Jagger. He just trying to find his look. He dressed in black leather, pants, a jacket, put on that white makeup on his face, that pancake white face makeup. Put the lipstick on, eyeshadow. So he's got that glam look, that sort of, you know, I guess I'll go back and start saying Warhol, you know, glam, transvestite dress-up look. And he basically, his image became a glam, iconic image. The way he dressed in silver high heel shoes also. But he realized that, you know, hey, you know, Bowie's going this direction. I don't want to go that direction. He eventually eliminated that look. He's sort of like he looked like a Frankenstein. Also, you could see, you know, from Rocky Horror Picture Show, Tim Curry, his image there also. And Lou treated the boys pretty well. However, sometimes whiskey and scotch got the best of him. He was known to drink, and it was his downfall. A lot of anger came about. I guess the truth serum there, and got the best of him. He would be nasty, sometimes embarrassing, lose his temper, give some tongue lashings. So I feel bad for those kids. But anyway, they were still riding it. So in December '72, they were in the U.S. For that part of the tour. In December 26. They paid a visit to Hempstead, Long Island, which is Ultrasonic Recording Studios. And WLIR, I believe, was the FM station who did a live broadcast of Lou and the Tots together. And there was soundboard quality recordings that went on, and there's some bootlegs that came out of this, and eventually vinyl. That's what I want to show you. There's two versions. I don't know all the details of what version came out. I believe one in 2001, 2009. 2001, I believe American Poet came out. And whatever, it had 12 songs, including an interview. It had rock and roll on it. The one I have, which is Lou live in New York, 1972, does not have rock and roll, does not have the interview. This one is about $15 to $20. This is from ZYX 2009, I guess a recent reissue, and single album, and it's just great. I've been playing this just continuously. American Poet is a double album. Like I said, it has rock and roll, and that's somewhere in about $33 price range. Lou and the band are tight. Lou's voice is a little bit back, a little bit. I like it when he records and he's right up front and real clean, but it's a great job, and they're tight. Great rock and roll licks in here. And I'm Waiting for My Man is sort of bluesy. So Lou was sort of like, I guess you could say like The Dead or Springsteen, where they'll turn songs around, go different pace, throw different lyrics in, change it up. And that's one thing, you know, when you listen to some live albums from Lou, it's not going to be all the same format, the same style, which is really nice to hear. Walking a Wild Side, instead of the sax solo, you hear the guitar solos. Which is really nice. And some critics gave some minor bashings to this. I just take Lou for what he is and how he delivers it, as long as the quality of the album is good, sound-wise. I take it for what he is and enjoy the hell out of this. I'm hoping that maybe you will think about this one. You know, Rock and Roll Animal is a little different. Take No Prisoners. Anyway. This one is really cool to have, and it was pretty reasonable. Thank you, VC. That's all I have. Stay warm. That's all we could say right now, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.